Welcome to your Wordless podcast, the space where we redefine success, self-worth, and transformation. I am Nick Nieras, the soul-centered architect of transformation, helping you unlock your highest potential and build a legacy beyond limits. Now, whether it is self-mastery, career breakthroughs, or wealth creation, this is where change begins. Now let's dive in. So, Gopal, can you please share with us first, before we dive deep into your work, what was it like growing up as a Gopal Norbert Klein? The name's very interesting.
You mean where the name came from, or I didn't quite understand?
Yeah, the name and your background. How did you grow up? Yeah.
Yeah. So my main story is I'm also, or I have been traumatized very much, and my whole life was about finding a solution. So I spent my childhood and my youth and I would say up to the age of 30, I spent mainly all the time trying to find a solution and trying to find out what's my problem actually. And nobody could tell me that. I was in all kinds of therapies you could imagine, but no one could really help me until I finally found a trauma therapist who explained what is that what I'm in. And it's called trauma. And I said, trauma? No, I'm not traumatized.
You denied it.
Yeah, I didn't understand, because I was thinking trauma is just, an impact, like we usually think what trauma is, one single event. And yeah, I didn't know at that time that the actual trauma practically all people suffer from is developmental trauma or attachment trauma. And yeah, so she explained me all that and said it needs about 1 year therapy, and then it's basically transferred. I did training in various methods, also spiritual methods, and finally I started helping other people, because I see that the whole society as a whole really has no idea what's really going on with us, and this information needs to get to the people, because I see so many people running around and trying to find a solution like me, because they don't have the information. So it's so valuable that you do this podcast here and allow me to share my knowledge, because that will be for many people will be like a real eye opener. Yeah, because then if you have the correct information, you suddenly understand yourself, and this is my whole story.
I love it. I love the work that you're doing, because once you understand why you developed that trauma and why it is present in present day, then you'll start understanding and you make the necessary changes to move or to pivot to a better life. So I'd love to know deeper, Gopal, about what, in simplest term, what is trauma and why is it, what is trauma? First things first.
Yeah. Okay. What is trauma actually needs a talk about maybe 10 to 20 hours, but we can explain it in a few words so that everyone understands. So let's start with what we usually think trauma is. Usually people think trauma is a single impact, like a car accident or becoming a victim of a crime or the loss of a close family member. This is what we usually call trauma. And yes, this is trauma, but it's just shock trauma. It's just one kind of trauma. And the actual thing we struggle with is not shock trauma, it's developmental and attachment trauma. And that means that during our childhood, we make experiences with our surrounding that is so inadequate, so difficult, that we have as a child no possibility to deal with that and to solve that. And that means during our growth, we create like a pseudo solution for that situation, because it's not possible to solve it. Yeah, because we are dependent on the parents. And so we carry that pseudo solution into our life, and we think this is life, but it's just survival. So to make it a bit more, it's to make it a bit easier. Let's say, just an example. It's easier to understand with an example. Let's say, as a child, we experience violence. That means we cannot connect with the environment in a way we need as a child. We need loving, supporting parents. But if we experience violence, this is not possible to solve for a child because a child cannot defend himself. It's too weak. And the child cannot run away and go to other parents who are loving. So this is an unsolvable situation. And this is what creates the developmental and attachment trauma. And later on in life, we are not able to fully connect to other people because subconsciously we believe that if I get close to someone, I will experience the same violence.
Same thing, yeah.
So what we do, we create subconsciously distance to others. But then we have another problem because we need close relationships to feel well.
We need connection. Yes. We thrive in connecting.
We have a huge need for a close relationship because we never had that. Yeah, we never had that. And at the same time, we believe that this closeness will create a life threat for us. So we are like in a vicious circle. And so, and we can, actually, it's almost impossible to understand and see that for yourself. You need help from the outside to see what you're actually doing. And this is what I say is the actual trauma, that we are not able to fully connect and to fully allow ourselves to get into a deep long-term relationship. And this creates all the suffering.
You hit so many points, nail on the head right now, Gopal. I too, although not diagnosed, but certain events did happen in my life, and it took me few years to actually detach myself from that trauma and really understand that my current circumstances or where I'm going in the future will not be defined by who I am in the past or what I have experienced. And not just going through different modalities, but also looking within, right? And you also mentioned spirituality. And now you've basically walked through those years and you've found your own approach. And can you share with us what is that approach and why do you think that is, I'm not saying that maybe it's not the number one solution, but definitely why it is life-changing?
Well, if I'm honest, I would say it's just the number one solution.
Okay.
Well, everyone says that about his inside, probably. Well,
okay.
I mean, I see the effect. I see it, that it's really to the point, and I can also explain why. So
Yes, please.
My perspective is that the suffering today is not created by the past. Not. Yeah, that's important. The suffering today has nothing to do with the past. So there's no need to go to the past because the past is not existing anymore. So why we suffer? We suffer because we recreate our suffering in every second. It's a constant, non-stopping recreation of our suffering in every moment. It has nothing to do with the past. So, and how do we do that? We do that by subconsciously creating distance, like I explained before. We subconsciously create distance in close relationships, and this recreates the relational situation we had in the past, but it recreates it today. And it recreates the physiological state of the body. We could say stress. So I recreate stress in the body and distance to my partner, and then I suffer because I need closeness. And if we get close, I will have fear. And this is done in every second, 24/7. Now the question is how we do that. And this is very simple. We do that by one of 4 core thoughts. I call that core thoughts, core projections. So let's make an example. Let's take the example. If I have experienced violence, so what happens? During my childhood, I have an experience, but I have no context. I don't understand all that because I have nothing else. I just have that. And when I grow up, this experience forms into a thought, into a core thought, what relationship is, how the world is. And if I experience violence, the core thought that is being created by that is, I will be attacked. So this is the bottom of my whole life. It's imprinted in the mind. From there, everything is created in my life. Also, I don't know that and I don't understand it. But this is I believe, the basis of the whole universe, that I get attacked if I come close to someone. And this is how we recreate all that by just this thought. I believe that the other will attack me in that example. And the problem is that we don't share this thought. Maybe we don't even are fully aware that this thought is active inside of us. And even if it would be active, it is connected with shame and fear. So we don't dare to share that because it's the core of our identity. And if someone, with the help of a therapist, for example, that's what we do in the floating therapy, to help people find that single thought that determines everything, we could say. If someone is able to find what he believes on the relationship level and is able to share that, for example, I would say, my head thinks that you will attack me, then it is spoken. Yeah. The deepest belief is spoken, and then the other can respond and can say, maybe, no, I don't want to attack you. Then the core belief gets overwritten by external information. And this is not a question of time. It's immediate. If the person can really listen to the answer, it gets overwritten at that time, and the person will feel a relief and a relaxation he had never before in his life. It's like that. It can be seen directly. The physiology changes, and it's like a waking up. Yeah, it's really like waking up. Wow, the stress is over. Something fundamentally has shifted. And yes, it has shifted, because with that simple interaction, the person realizes, wow, contact is not a danger anymore. And this changed everything. So this is my approach.
Hi, I'm Nick Nieras, your host of the Your Wordless podcast. Now, if these real raw stories hit home, don't wait. Please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait. Your transformation starts today. Thank you, and bye for now. Wow. Okay, I am interested to know more. It sounds like talk therapy to me, but what is it during that session that makes the person wake up or realize that, hey, I have these thoughts running through my mind for the last 15 years. I thought I was in danger. I'm no longer in danger because of this. What is that switch that you do? Do you have modalities of your own, or how is it?
There is nothing special about it. It's just the information. It's all about information. Long term, or maybe just a little bit, we go to the past. The trauma work started with shock trauma work. So people thought if we help the client to release the stress, then everything is fine. So yes, in a way it is fine if it is about shock trauma. Yes. Then things developed, and now many people think that we need an emotional completion. So if it's not about the body only, it's about emotional completion. If I can share and exchange my emotions, then fundamentally the thing is solved. But my point of view is, no, even that is not the point. It's about the mind. It's about really just information, what relationship is. And the switch happens at that point when I dare to share what I believe, what the threat is that comes from the other, and I hear a response. It's all just about information. I believe that the other will attack me, and I hear the information. No, he won't. This is all. This is what the nervous system needs to hear. And it's, if we don't do that until that point, we don't dare to ask that, because we are so convinced that this is the truth, even subconsciously, that we are not able to ask that, because it seems so obvious that I get attacked in that example. So I need help from a therapist to find that core thought and then dare to share it. There people need help. And they need some help to really listen what the other is saying, because many are not daring to listen the answer.
Yes.
Yeah, so they need some help to really listen what's coming. And if this happens really in that moment, the change happens. And that's why I'm saying it's for 80% of the people, we don't need years of therapy. Many people will have a life-changing experience in their first session. Really. Of course, they are very heavily traumatized. People I work with, they need years also. Yeah. But for the majority of people, it's not that, it's a very short 1, 2, 3 sessions, and something fundamentally shifts.
So you provide like a safe space for people to come and share their core thoughts. Let's say, oh, I cannot be with a person because I'm scared he will cheat again, for example, right? And then that you create, because when what you think here, you create that in your reality. So, and I see that your focus is on the mind. And hearing what you said, so if let's say a person were to come to you today, what is their typical step look like towards their recovery? What would you do during a session?
The procedure is always the same. We sit in a group for about 12 people, 12 guests, and the guest or the client comes with a symptom, with a problem. So for example, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have not enough money, I've struggled with my partner, I have this illness or that problem, thousands of symptoms and problems, but they are completely irrelevant. It's not about symptoms and problems. This is just an excuse to not have to look onto the relational level. So I'm not interested why people are coming. I'm just listening so they feel accepted, but it has nothing to do with the actual course and the work. So they say, for example, I have this and that. And then I ask them, okay, look in the room. Who is the person here in that room who's responsible for that? This is the question for the subconscious, because it's constantly projecting. So the client will say, this guy, the problem has to do with this guy. Also, he himself has never seen this person and he himself doesn't understand why. But the subconscious needs to project. So he can say this one. Then I put both into the middle and I stand with them. So we are 3 in the middle standing. Others are sitting around. And then I help both people to get in contact, because, the other one is exactly also traumatized, but the other pole, that's why they meet. That's why they find together. That's right. Actually that's how partnerships actually, based on same trauma, but on the same level, but different poles. So that's what we call partnership today. Anyway, so yes, I help both to complete their communication, as I described before. And the funny thing is that both 2 people get transformed in the session. And the advantage for the therapist is, in contrast to one-to-one sessions, is that I'm not so involved in the process, because it's about connecting both clients. It's not about me. So I'm just helping both to connect. And that's why I'm not so easily drift off in, how do you say, counter transference. Bias. So it's easy to stay out of counter transferences. You're objective from the 2 of them. This also, but I mean, the main problem is counter transferences for the therapist. And this is, you are not so involved. And at the same time, both feel more secure in their process because they are not in direct interaction with the therapist, which seems to have more power. Yeah. So they work with another client that feels more safe for them. So it has a lot of advantages. But of course, the disadvantage is that I have to work with 2 systems that are not able to fully communicate. That's the challenge for the therapist. What are some of the success stories that you've seen? I cannot say that. It's the success story I see in every session when the physiology changes. So I see it in the process. I don't care what people have experienced, why they come, and what happens after that. I don't care, honestly, because I see what's happening in that moment when they fully connect. And this is enough to see that they have a transformation. And of course, many write mails and are very thankful. And yes, but I don't care about that. Beautiful. Well, okay. You've written a book called The Vegas Key. It's in German. Can you share with us what's the book, what the book is about, and if it's going to be available in English, and where can we get it? Yes, It's being translated now into English, so it will be available in I don't know, maybe half year, 1 year. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's on the way. And this book is not about therapy. Yeah, what we talked now was floating, the therapy method, and this book is about honest sharing, which is a self-help method. So people can do that, what I described, without a therapist up to a certain degree. Yeah. So it's an instruction how to communicate, not what, just how. And this is so designed, if we apply the rules of honest sharing, which are very, very simple, then we can connect in a deeper way, which we are not able, have we not been able before, without a specialist, without a therapist, because the rules are designed in a way that if we really apply them, that we are able to communicate and bypass the ego. How I thought many, many months and years actually, how to find a solution for the whole society, for the whole planet, because we will never have enough therapists for clients. This model is not working, not even for the richest country, like here in Switzerland, not even here. So we need something what helps people to help themselves together without a therapist, without a specialist, for everyone, husband and wife, friends, colleagues. That's how it, that's the origin of the honest sharing method.
Becoming a podcast host was a natural extension of my second act. Now, after spending 15 years in the corporate world, I've transitioned to helping individuals overcome challenges like navigating tough relationships, career burnout, and aligning their mission with their soul's core. By certifying as an RTT hypnotherapist and a lifestyle coach, I've made it my mission to empower people to recreate the life they deserve and building a supportive community through my podcast. Now let me ask, are you facing challenges like struggling to reprogram your mind to attract wealth, weight issues that feel like a constant yo-yo, insomnia or restless nights from daily worries, or just a lack of confidence in public speaking? If the answer is yes, visit www.thenicknearestholisticlifestyle.com and grab a free hypnosis audio of these common struggles. It's a sneak peek into how my coaching works. Are you feeling shy? Don't be, because I'm as real as it gets. Let's connect on Instagram and LinkedIn and start your transformation today.
Now, I had a question in my mind when you were talking. So let's say 2 person were to come in that sharing circle. And let's say I want to go, but I am an introvert. What can I do? I don't feel like sharing.
Share it.
Just share.
My head thinks that I am an introvert. My head thinks that I would rather like to leave. Then it's all, it's communicated and it may become more easy.
Clearer.
That's the difference between acting out and sharing. Yeah. If you don't share, you have to act it out. In your case, that would mean I don't attend to the group. I act out my flight response. You see? And if I'm able to share it, I don't have to act it out because it's allowed. I can share it. The information is transmitted, so my system can relax. It's allowed to share my impulse to leave. That's the whole magic. We from acting out to communication. This is the whole thing. And yes?
Yeah, I am just imagining. It sounds so simple, but then you said that as long as you are open to sharing and having that third party, because these are all the thoughts that run in your head 24/7, right? And if you say it out, it's almost like a third party saying it to you, so you'd understand more. Oh, I act this way because I think this way, but it might not be the case. I'm just trying to, how do I say this, make sense of your approach. I love the part where you said in your book you're teaching people how, not what to communicate, how to communicate. I've had so many guests on my show, communication coaches. All the years we said communication is key to relationship at work, in the house, wherever, right? But still, it remains one of the biggest problems. So I'd like to thank you for the work you're doing, Gopal. And you also mentioned before you went into spirituality because of your own journey during your trauma journey. How just what are your practices that you do spiritually? Do you meditate or do you do any other modalities?
Yeah, I meditate daily. That's the main practice.
How long do you meditate?
Between 1 and 2 hours, maybe, in the morning.
Wow. Okay. So what is your advice to these people that are listening right now and they want to know more about your work?
The easiest way is to go to YouTube and search for my name. The second best way I would say is to attend to the Zoom events sundaywithgopal.com. There you can, from the audience, watch while I'm doing individual sessions, so you can directly see how I work with people. And if you think this is a good thing, you can also buy a session ticket, but first you can just watch. And also I would recommend to read the honest sharing instructions in English. They are available in English, in some other languages as well, but this is available in English for free on my homepage. I can give you the link if you want.
Yes,
and
please.
then you can directly start. Yeah, it's a PDF with a few pages. You can immediately start and transform your life and apply what is written there.
Beautiful. Gopal, so how can someone find another person to do honest sharing with?
One way is to look on the honest sharing map. This is honestsharing.org. This is a map of the world with hearts, and every heart is a person who is interested in honest sharing, so you can contact them, but most are in German and Switzerland, Austria at that moment, a few in other countries as well. So depends on where you live. And of course, the best person for that is your partner. So one idea would be to give your partner the sheet of the honest sharing instructions and ask him, hey, let's try that. Why we don't try that? Yeah, so this would be the ideal partner, the real partner, because there the problems arise and there they can be solved because it's the closest relationship we have.
Okay, and we can get this through your website, right? Awesome. So, okay, Gopal, what are you working on currently?
What I'm working on currently? So many things. I have so many projects. So one project is the translation of the Vegas key book. Another project is the expansion of the heart map, what I described right now. Then I give online events, give physical events and retreats. I do the floating work. I help the people who spread and try to share the honest sharing instructions. I produce videos. I have too much to do, actually. And also, the last 2 years, I trained trauma therapists. We have 20, I don't know the exact number. So we have a group of trauma therapists who have been trained by me.
Wow. And these are all worldwide or in German or in Switzerland?
Yeah, Germany, Switzerland. And also I work as a medium also, I have to say that.
What is that? A medium? Like a
spiritual medium
guide? Yeah. Can you talk more about that? I love talking about mediumship.
Yeah, if I start talking about that, it's very, these topics together is difficult,
Maybe I'll have you on for another episode.
Yeah, but in a few words, I can share that.
Yes, please.
For example, the honest sharing method. I thought I am the one who discovered that. Now with all the training of mediumship, I know now it's that I was just the channel of that. It's not from me, it's from the spiritual world. They choose me to as a medium to bring it to the world. So just one example. Or I realized if I work with people, I realized it's not my work actually. I'm surrounded by helpers and relatives of the client, and from there I get all the information because I ask myself, from where come all this information? It's impossible for me to know that. So I realized that I actually worked as a medium years before already, but I was not aware of it. And now it's more conscious. So I work with dead relatives, and if someone for example, wants to have a contact to a dead relative, I can establish that. Or I also work with spiritual healers and putting my hand on a client if someone would like to have that. But I'm careful because this work can also be, in a way, be a distraction from the actual point. So it's easier to talk with a dead relative or to ask for help from a spiritual guide. It's much easier than to look what I am, how I destroy my relationships, how my ego is structured. So this is painful. So I'm not doing that basically for everyone. I look what makes sense and what's appropriate.
Wow. Thank you for being so transparent. I love when you said I have to destroy my ego. Oftentimes, I think that people who've experienced the worst become the channel or the divine or the vessel that the universe is working through us to share our message to the world and how we can elevate the consciousness. And I love the work that you're doing because it's much needed.
Absolutely, yeah.
New Earth is coming. I know the physical Earth has been there for 3 billion years, but the consciousness is something we're all working towards. So I appreciate you, Gopal. So, a few more questions, Gopal. What is your heart's greatest wish?
My greatest wish is that humanity realizes that all problems on this planet can be solved by communication, by just sharing our hurt internal parts. This is the solution for all problems on this planet, that people understand what's going on and that the planet finally is healed, because we are the only problem on that planet. And we are so off the tracks, but the solution is actually simple. Instead of, for example, killing someone I hate, it's enough to say, I feel hate. And people have to know and understand that the biological energy from the survival level of nature, that wants to be acted out in killing and fighting and running, can be transformed by just sharing the information. So this is my dream, that this really reaches the masses. And that's why I'm working day and night to try to reach the masses, that they understand it and that the information gets to the people.
Yeah. And I am rooting for you, and I'm honored to be able to share this platform with you so you can also share your message to my audience and this side of the world. We will wait for your translation and English, and then hopefully, 1 year from now, a few months from now, with the advancement of technology, if the technology can be advanced, why not us, humanity, right? In terms of understanding each other. So, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening, and the world is your legacy, what would it be?
A quote? What do you mean? I don't really understand. You mean one sentence for the world, or?
For you, a mantra that you have.
A mantra.
Yeah.
Dare to share. That's the whole thing.
I love that. Whew, okay, now we've come to almost the end of the show. So, Gopal, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, the easiest way is sundaywithgopal.com. Yeah, write to my office. The email is on my homepage, traumaheilung.net. It's German phrase, of course, and YouTube. But the most important thing is to download the free instruction of honest sharing,
PDF.
because then you don't need to have to contact me. You can just directly start. I'm not needed. Download, read, and start, and you will see if you apply the rules. At that day, you will have a transformation. I can guarantee that.
So, listeners, you heard it from Gopal. What you need to do is go ahead to his website and download that PDF on share and start a conversation with yourself and transforming yourself without Gopal. Now, if you need him in your journey, then you're welcome to join him on Sunday Live with Gopal, where he will do his expertise, perform his expertise on people directly, and you can witness the magic happen. So that is a wrap on our episode today. Thank you, Gopal, for your wisdom and for continuing to uplift others. So this has been your wordless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Remember, if you've ever felt wordless, you are not alone. Your soul chose to be here to matter, and for that reason, you are worthy. A huge thank you to Gopal and to all of you for listening. Until next time, I'm Nick Nieras, your host. Keep growing, keep shining, and always remember you are worthy and you are enough. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Gopal, again for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, Gopal. How are you? Good morning to you.
Hi, Nicolette. I'm fine. Thanks for your invitation.
Well, thank you for saying yes to be interviewed today. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled Your Wordless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Thank you again for saying yes to be interviewed today. I am so excited to have you on my show because I too am a certified hypnotherapist. I actually moved from my 9 to 5 just last year, transitioned fully into my own practice, and having an expert like yourself would truly benefit my listeners and myself. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce yourself to our listeners and then we can get right into the conversation.
Yes, thank you.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to Your Wordless podcast. Today we are joined by Gopal Norbert Klein, a German trauma therapist specializing in attachment and developmental trauma. He is certified in NARM and TRE and is the creator of Floating, a group therapy method designed for deep healing. Now, he is also an author, a best-selling author of The Vegas Key, currently available in German. Gopal uses his own experiences to help others overcome suffering through his self-help network, honest sharing, and live events like Sunday with Gopal and Floating. He empowers people to heal and transform their lives. Join us as we explore trauma healing, emotional resilience, and power of honest connection in this insightful conversation. Welcome, Gopal, to the show.
Thank you.
Love this episode? Now, transformation doesn't end here. Head on to @holistic.lifestyle_with_Nick. That is on my Instagram. Or head on to my website, www.denignerasholisticlifestyle.com for more info on my coaching framework, which is the Worthy, Authentic, and Abundant Framework, digital guides, and my upcoming events such as retreats and master classes and workshops. Now, I also do intuitive readings where we get to check